pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Lieutenant Kelly Ross from Salvation Army, would you like us to sit or stand?
Sit, it's fine. Let's pray. Father, we thank you for another day of life, Lord. And we ask that you would not take that, help us not to take that for granted. And Father, as we gather here tonight to discuss the business of the town, Lord, we pray that you would just be with each leader of the town here, Lord, that you would just bless them and just give them insight and wisdom, Lord. And Father, we pray that everything that we say and do tonight would bring honor and glory to you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Lieutenant Ross. John, I'd like to make a motion we approve the minutes of the town board meeting for December 27th, 2012 and January 2nd, 2013. So moved.
And seconded?
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Rubin.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
The minutes are approved. Under reports, for the building department, their monthly report from December, $78,570.25. Under town clerk, monthly report for December, $7,104.94. Tax receiver utility collection report for December, $291,945.98. Tax receiver for the tax collection to date as of January 4th, $35,159,862.04. Tax receiver tax collection to date as of January 9th, $43,657,971.70. Under correspondence, we had a petition with 17 signatures expressing concern about the settlement of lawsuits allowing excessive commercial development at Manor Road and Route 25 in Calverton. Greater Calverton Civic Association sent a letter in opposition to the location of an animal shelter, spay neuter clinic at 165 Youngs Avenue, Calverton. And Philip J. Kenter of Relay Communications sent a letter with concerns over protester tavern and newly posted notice at 155 Griffin Avenue in Riverhead.
Let's see, what's the newly posted notice, do you know?
They're opening Friday. They indicated they're opening.
Yeah, it's in Spanish, and nobody knows.
And the windows are all shaded, so you can't even see what's going on.
Interesting. Well, they do have some permits.
They have CO for lunch yet.
All right. Any other committee reports?
I just want to throw out there, and I'm sure some people are aware of it, that the ice skating rink is up at Stotsky Park, and we just pray for some cold weather. But I heard Tuesday, the high is in the 20s on Tuesday, so
Yeah, but you
I
had a
think we're
couple
almost
days
there.
of cold weather.
We got 2 or 3 days, so
It's an ice skating rink, but it's all water.
it's a nice step and slide. It should be ready next Thursday.
So,
Right?
all right, good.
And the Alternative Transportation Committee is having the bike drive for gently used bicycles. You can bring them to Twin Forks Bicycles on Main Street. They will be refurbished, and Suffolk County Cooperative Extension Creating Healthy Places will be providing helmets for the children. There'll be an essay contest for grades 5 through 9, which will be graded by the Alternative Transportation Committee, and the bikes will be awarded at the bike rodeo that the PAO has at the beginning of May. So if anybody has any gently used bicycles, if you got a new bicycle for Christmas and you want to place to deposit the old one, that's a good way to do it, and you'll be providing a kid with bicycle transportation. So anybody that wants to participate, we appreciate it. And you'll get a 10% coupon for Twin Forks Bicycle.
Okay. No other reports, and we have one public hearing. It's a consideration of local law amending Chapter 108 of the zoning code of the Riverhead Town Code site plan review. Bill, do you want to come up and present what this is?
Good evening. Section 108-132 was a previous section of the code. Set forth some of the requirements of site plan and what had to be included. We just amended it to make it more inclusive and more user-friendly, I think. It includes a cover letter. It says that the fee has to be paid before the planning board would consider it. It also requires title reports be submitted showing chain of title and recorded easements and covenants on the subject property, so when we're reviewing them, we know they can have the right to do what they want to do. And besides that, just goes after that, it really just contains a lot of the legal and planning data required on a site plan. And I think it sets forth in a fashion that makes it a little bit easier for everybody to understand.
Okay, good. Does anybody wish to be heard on this?
Well,
Is this known as the Mendez?
yes, that's what I think that's what you dubbed it. Dominique Mendez, Riverhead Neighborhood Preservation Coalition. My remarks are going to address proposed section 108.132-1E and 2A10. And those are the ones that, for the covenants and easements and restrictions. I think it's very important that you now are incorporating language to try to ensure that all such restrictions are revealed at the very start of the site plan process. Obviously, if the town is not aware of the covenants, easements, and restrictions, then uses that are specifically prohibited on a particular property can actually be established. We all know this has happened in at least one time where an expressly prohibited uses were allowed. Of course, if those covenants are revealed as a standard part of the site plan process, that is not likely to happen. So, in trying to avoid a situation, where something might be approved that is actually specifically prohibited, I just wanted to make sure that this is not going to be open to a situation where someone didn't provide you with complete information, and because they omitted certain things that that wouldn't be able to be done, and you still would be able to be assured that you have full covenants, easements, and restrictions, and you have that information, so that someone couldn't just, because it has been done, just lift the parts they didn't like.
Yeah, but the title report has an index, and it says that there's a covenant from the Suffolk County and an easement from the water district or drainage. So it's listed in an index, and then it's attached as a document.
So you feel pretty confident, as long as someone checks against the index.
And it's numbered.
Great, so as long as someone checks against the index, you should be covered.
It's the same type of search you'd have when you buy your house.
Yep.
Southampton does something, I hear, which is they keep a database of covenants and easements and other restrictions that they, the town, put in properties. I don't think we do that in Riverhead. And I know that it might be difficult to do that going backward, but maybe going forward it wouldn't be too difficult.
Well, you probably couldn't do it in a COBOL-based computer system like the town has. The system that Southampton has is light years ahead of us. We're working on it, but it's probably not something we can do in the systems we have.
Really, not even just via an Excel spreadsheet or a little database or something.
It's
It would be, I don't know what the work with that would be, because what they do is they have it on each parcel, that their GIS system or whatever having it in a spreadsheet to me is no different than indexing it, putting it in a file someplace.
Right, but I don't even think you guys do that. I don't think you keep that stuff here. Suppose you just file with the county and you don't necessarily have copies. So it just maybe is a stock.
Copies of everything that gets filed with the town.
Of the covenants, the easements and restrictions and all that.
Of course.
Any covenant gets filed with respect to the site plan.
Right.
Within the last 10 years or so, I would say, I'm not sure if I can go up further than that.
Right.
When the planning board approves it, in this case now with the site plan review, it's subject to a covenant being recorded.
Right.
Our office receives the title report,
Mm-hmm.
and the proposed covenant to be recorded and reviewed, same report sent back to the applicant to record. Then when they record it, they're asked to provide us with the certified copy to show it's been recorded as well.
A refund, but I think we still have to pay it. I think that's what Bill said, that it's not removed from the statute just because the court found it not.
Resolution 48. The recreational trail, is that the bicycle path or is that something else? Is that the 8-foot wide blacktop?
Bicycle path.
You're saying yes, she's saying no.
something else that works as a
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the question.
Yeah.
Okay, that Ask a question.
Yeah.
So you bring the Carrollton? They have just in that.
Yeah.
Resolution 57. On the last page, just above the vote. Is a boat ramp permit something new this year? It's the beach stickers, the second line down. It says boat ramps
On the
permit.
first page or second page?
The last page, on the signature page of the,
Oh, okay.
Program permits, $15. That's the change for this, for the state now.
That's for the,
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's,
most of these fees haven't changed from last
I
year.
think that's, no, I don't
It's
think
been here for one day.
No, well, if it's.
I'm asking the question
I'm gonna tell
because
you, I don't think anybody's ever paid it, because
I've never heard of it.
I think that's.
Okay.
We asked.
Now, are we talking about the Wading River ramp, the Iron Pier ramp, the ramp in Jamesport, which used to be the state ramp?
Yeah.
So in other words, you need a parking sticker and you need a boat ramp permit.
I never heard of boat ramp permit.
That's why I'm asking the question. I never heard of it
You buy
either.
a beach sticker that allows you to park in any one of our parks. So,
I'm not interested in that now, because I specifically asked.
Maybe one of the
We'll
other
have
fees
to-
that I
we'll have to
was
check
in this
on that.
meeting.
all right? I never heard of it.
Your computer? I'll have to look it up.
I will look it up, we might strike that out. That's a good catch, because, I
I
didn't
thought
notice
it
it.
Sean, I think in your backup, it was specific to Jamesport. I wasn't sure why.
Do you want me to grab that back
I
up from
think
work
it is, I think
session?
it's the state ramp.
Yeah, but the state
Nobody
ramp
said
is not a town ramp.
I know, but I think that for the longest time, I mean, when I was patrolling, we had that sticker on the car and we
Your
parked
parking.
Yeah, but that's a parking sticker, because I've gotten a ticket over there
Right.
Unless
before
we
the
give you
beginning
the
of the
option, you won't
season.
need a sticker, man. You'll just need the parking ticket.
But you wouldn't have to
It's one or the
spend,
other. That's what
you
usually
wouldn't have to
goes.
spend $30 on a beach sticker and a boat ramp sticker.
Oh, no, right, boat ramp.
So I mean, in one sticker,
All right, let's find out what Bob, hold
Well,
on, let's
like I say,
see.
in the current code, there is a unique permit which is entitled South Jamesport Boat Ramp Parking Permit,
Right.
which is a $10 permit. That's only for that particular location.
Now it's 15.
Maybe that's.
maybe it was put in when it was a state, when the state,
Says
regulated.
boat ramp parking permit, this says boat ramp permit.
Under 4813B4.
I think there was some problem with the state regulated, and everybody from the state could park there. The town could not have a town parking permit to park there at that time. After it reverted back to the town, I think now just the town parking permit.
Well, let me ask Diane. Diane, have you ever sold a $15 boat ramp
I
permit?
don't sell those for recreation department.
Oh,
I have
okay.
a boat, and I've never had one, so.
I do too, and I've never had one either.
I don't know that
I
anybody
think
said.
it goes back about 20
Yeah,
years,
we gotta start
25
collecting
years.
those fines.
Well,
when the town took it over, we had to-
If it's valid, you better inform the police department. That way, they can collect the $5 for the parking sticker and the $15 for the trailer. All right, Resolution 71.
I don't know whether we hold this resolution.
Now, see, I would go along with that, to have a trailer park.
Then you
Well-
gotta put somebody down there
You
to
know,
watch
watch
it.
it take it in two spots.
Yes, except for one thing, John. You open up a can of worms, okay? What about the guy who has a little trailer that tows one jet ski,
Right.
okay? Or the guy who
Just get it back.
backs in with his pickup truck with his aluminum boat in the back and dumps it, you know, on the ramp and uses the pier.
We may table that resolution if we don't have to do it today, because I wanna find out a little bit more about that.
Resolution 71.
Can you text Tara?
Yes, right.
And find out if we can table that resolution? Yes.
I would think so, since we're a long way off from the boating season.
Yeah.
Resolution 71. There's a whole bunch of resolutions here that release site plan securities. Doesn't our building department process include a step which says when you issue a certificate of occupancy, you release the site plan security?
Remember
And if
that.
it doesn't, shouldn't it?
Don't you remember way back when we talked about the trust and agency account that hadn't been audited in 25 years.
Oh, this all came up in an audit.
This is all cement.
Because there's some stuff here from
This is-
1999. I'm
this is-
surprised the applicants haven't been yelling and screaming for
This
their
is
money.
the cement money.
This is cement.
All right, well, now that we did the audit, have we put a process in place that says issue a certificate of occupancy, release the site plan
Yes,
security?
we don't put the money in the trust and agency account, it goes directly, well, depending on what it is, it goes directly to the town coffers, it's not held in the trust and agency account.
Resolution 74. This is an interesting resolution. I guess the question I have is, what is the cost to the taxpayer in lost tax revenue of the town taking over this property? Okay? And there's got to be some impact to the taxpayer, because now the town owns the property, so somebody isn't paying taxes on it, and somebody lost the property for failure to pay tax.
Well, the property was always supposed to be an open space, it was not supposed to be developable property.
Okay?
And,
Well,
and so it should, I agree with you, there is lost tax revenue here, but the taxes on an open space parcel are fairly, they're not as significant as the taxes on a regular parcel. The problem is that there are 220 homeowners in that community, 222 homeowners in that community that bought in there relying on this being open space, and the developer keeps trying to build on it, and now he's lost it to taxes, and to make probably hundreds of thousands of dollars of potential litigation go away, if we can take it and make it the open space it was supposed to be. The town, and I've said to the homeowners association, the town's not going to pay the back taxes on this, so if that's required, the homeowners association is going to have to pay that. And if we can, I've told the homeowners association, who some of them are here, that I want to turn it over to them, and therefore we would get that little bit of tax that you're talking about. I just don't know whether there's a mechanism to do that with the county law taking it under 72H.
okay.
And I'm not voting for this resolution at this time because when I got this request from the supervisor to put this into the packet tonight, I started doing some research and I found out that the owner of the property has 2.5 years to pay the back taxes and reclaim the property. So for us to sign off on it now, we're facing litigation with him for signing it off and turning it into open space.
The county has to do it, and there is an instance that the county has done this before. I was in the town attorney's office, there was a piece of property that was the, Jim Lowe wanted to use for the animal shelter, and the county, it was the same exact situation, they lost it in the first year, and the county, whatever their mechanism was, they were able to convey the property to the town after the first year for public purposes.
I spoke to the assessor, I spoke to 2 attorneys within the town attorney's office today that felt that this resolution should be pulled from the packet. So I'm not voting for it this evening.
Good, don't
I don't
vote.
think it's ready.
Good, don't vote for it.
Well, I have
It's
another
not
question.
ready March is very familiar
I
with
know
it.
the 72H process.
Okay, we're not
That's
having
fine.
conversations from the floor like that.
I have another question about this.
It's not ready yet. Another 2
Can you
weeks.
stop interrupting?
When,
I'd like to finish what I was saying without being interrupted.
You were having a private conversation while Sal was talking about this. Can we just finish with Sal?
when they did the site plan for this 222 acres, I think it was to start off with, why did we allow him to separate out the land
We didn't.
that was going to be open space under a separate deed so that he can go in default on just the vacant land and not the rest of it?
We didn't.
And maybe,
We didn't.
He
Well-
did it illegally.
He
Okay.
split the property illegally by deed.
now, do we have something in place now to protect us in the future so that nobody else in the future splits out separate deeds for the open space so that they can't do the same thing?
It's a misdemeanor under state law, and we actually have been in justice court on this very issue.
Okay.
And we have covenants in place now that say that the metes and bounds of this particular property shall remain natural in perpetuity, whereas when this development was approved, were no covenants that were required. So that's another problem with the map that we need to fix. We hope to take title to it and then transfer it to the homeowners association and have the homeowners association have it as open space. I don't want to see anything ever built on this property, but we have to go about it the right way to protect the town, the residents that are living within the development. Because if the county takes this property, they could sell it for auction tomorrow to anybody. And it's in a receiving area. So someone could buy Pine Barrens credits and transfer them to this piece and build something. And I don't think that this property is suited to be built, to have anything built on it.
Well,
So,
that's why we're taking it.
yeah, but the town attorneys are telling us that we're not ready to do that yet.
Okay, and what I'm telling you, and what I told Bob Kozakevich, and I can identify the property, we did the exact same thing for the residents of this town on a triangular piece of property connected to the water district over on Ostrander Avenue. And for me, to try to protect the 222 residents in there, I'm willing to pass this resolution tonight and give it a try. If the town has no liability here, if the county does it, the county does it. They did it before, they can do it again. If they choose not to do it, then we've done everything we can do. If we have to wait the 2.5 years, we have to wait the 2.5 years. It's not liability on the town, but this is the first step in trying to protect
My only
those
question, and I
222.
agree with all of that, my only question is, the county, a lot of times these defaulted properties make good on the taxes, right?
Yes.
Now, by doing this transfer tonight, they're not obligated to do that, correct? But yet they still would have to use the next couple of years.
They would still make, the question, the county would still make up the taxes. The town may be required to pay the pro rata share of the taxes, which is something we would have to work out with the homeowners association.
I just don't understand that this resolution is put before me today, and I've made a few phone calls and don't like what I'm hearing, and I don't know why we have to do it tonight. Why can't wait 2 weeks so I have time to take a hard look at it?
We've been in litigation with this for years, about 6 or 7 years. And this is a way to end it and have this as open space. I think it's a good way. If the county had it and they pay the taxes back, they get the property back. The same with us. If we have it and they come within 3 years and pay it, then we'll have to give the property back to them. But I think this way we know we're not going to sell the property to somebody else and let them develop it.
Still off the property,
And I
yes,
think
they
that's.
still can come back and pay the taxes
That's
to
right.
Cooper,
Yeah.
either way. So this is more, gives us the guarantee.
I appreciate all of this,
Neutralize the
especially for the
property.
222 homeowners, but my only question is that the 72H became available, what, 15 days ago? Just seems kind of,
The property was.
seems like we're pouncing on it pretty quick.
Well,
Well, I'll be honest with you.
I think
It's something we want to try to do. The homeowners association came in, they come into me every, I don't know, Joe,
Well, I know they
3
have-
months to
I-
talk to me about it. They told me
I know
about
what
it
they're dealing with.
early in January. We weren't able to make the first meeting in January. Unfortunately, Bill Duffy had been out, so I hadn't been able to get it, talk to him. I unfortunately forgot about it for Thursday, to have it in for Thursday. I asked him to draft it late last week, he did, and I don't know when it was emailed yesterday, I think it was emailed yesterday.
all I can say is, I've been on the board for almost 8 years, 7, and this has been going on with litigation
Long before that.
for my 7 years and before that. And if we can end it now, I'm all for ending it now.
But it's
and
not
say-
ending it now, John, because they can come back and pay the taxes and we'll be right back to
No,
where we were.
no.
Yes.
I don't think you understand the process.
No.
Well,
If the
that's why I
county-
need time to look into
If
it.
the county deeds us the property, if they're willing to do it,
Right.
we get it. It cuts off the liens,
Bob,
period.
is that true, or do they have 3 years to pay the taxes and then they can sue the town for their property back?
Can I ask a question?
The reality is, I am not sure where it is in the county process.
Does the,
And that's the problem.
the question that
I may have been
needs,
given wrong advice yesterday by an individual by the name of RJ, whether the county's taken a deed. What happens, from what I understand, is there's non-payment of taxes, ultimately that catches up, there's a notice, owner fails to pay. The property is then sold from the treasurer to the county for tax sale. Then, from that point, a redemption period starts. And depending upon the type of property, there's a 1-year or 3-year redemption, under which a property owner or party having interest can redeem the property and acquire it back. What I don't know is if we're in that 1 or 3-year period, or whether we're at the end of the 1 or 3-year period where there's been an actual tax deed or a deed to the county Suffolk. So depending where we are makes a difference.
But Mr. Duffy,
And what I'm saying to you is,
I'm not sure if there's any liability on our part. I mean, I know it's been suggested because, you know, if we take it, we would do a search and it would be a title search and all the rest.
the county gives, if the county is willing to give it to you, the same exact fact pattern. When I was in the town attorney's office, we got the property under the same exact fact pattern. And it was within the redemption period. The county gave it to the town because it was a higher governmental purpose. And that was how the county gave it to the town, and we kept it. And listen, I'm asking you to vote on it. This protects
Just
222.
no objective here. She has questions. You just don't. Jim may have. I may have. What I'm saying, could we get a definitive answer in Bob in 3 weeks
Can I make a comment?
on your?
Every year in the paper, they list several hundred properties that taxes weren't paid. I doubt that the county is transferring property after the first year that the tax wasn't paid. I'd like to think that the county transfers the property, the ownership, after the 3rd year.
After the 3rd year, that's what
Which
they do.
means they've already blown their opportunity to pay back taxes. Otherwise, the county would be doing this to 300-400 pieces of property that the taxes go
Every time
unpaid.
they auction a piece of property off, what they're saying is they get into this 3-year that they can pay it back. The county waits 3 years. After the 3rd year, it can auction.
Goes the
off the property.
default.
Mr.
And
Duffy,
you get a
I
title.
could please ask you a question on the record, because what you told me today is that the property owner has 2.5 years to reclaim the property, so they're not at the end of the 3 years.
All right.
Well, Mr. Kozakevich and
I had that conversation.
we got 2 different stories from the county. I called the county earlier this year, I'm not sure of the month, but Mr. Friedman came and saw me. We called them, they said, call me in January, and we could do it. Bob got a different story when he called this week, and he was told that we still 2.5 years on it. So we're not sure where the county is on it.
And I'm telling you, Jody, I will give you the tax map. You can look it up. It's the same fact pattern. I was a deputy town attorney. I put the resolution forward. I was a little stunned that the county would do it. I think it was legislator Romaine put the resolution forward at the county, and we obtained the deed.
Well, how big was that
And
parcel?
all I'm saying, it's not a question
It
of the
is,
size
because this is a
of all
40-acre
I'm
parcel. I'd
saying.
be more interested in reclaiming the taxes on a 40-acre parcel than an 1/8 of an acre parcel that I can't build anything on. If they think that they have,
All I want to do is try to protect the 222 homeowners
So
in
do I.
Willow Ponds
Bill,
quickly.
Okay, Councilwoman Igloo, this town has been sued over some ridiculous things in the past, and we still are sued over ridiculous things. I think this is a positive thing for the town and the homeowners up there. And if we have to take a chance that someone's going to sue us over this, I'd rather take this chance because it's a positive step forward instead of getting a ridiculous lawsuit that we get every single day in this town. So I think this is a positive step for the homeowners up there and ending these years of litigation that we've been in.
John, our attorneys are telling us that we have to wait 2.5 years.
No, they're not.
No, they're not.
No, they're not. I know what you just said.
That's what I was
oh, you
told.
said you're not sure
They're not-
on one
they're
issue,
not
am I
telling
correct?
I was told 2.5, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
All right,
Right. Bill was told that he could
All right.
start.
So,
All right,
would we have?
Bill was told earlier in the year, at the end of 2012, that the 72H could start this year after the beginning.
Will we have a definitive
We've
answer
been told 2 different things.
by next
Well, I'd
board
rather
meeting?
take this
Is it
chance.
something that we'll definitive answer?
I have no
Of
problem
being
with
sued
talking
because it's a
about it.
positive
In 2
step.
weeks.
One at a time, please.
This,
All right, I'm cutting off debate. It's done. The resolution's going to be put up for a vote. It's done. Let's move to the next one, so.
That's it.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Good evening, Steve Romano, Riverhead.
How you doing, Steve?
Good. How you guys doing? The two resolutions, 45 and 46, do they have anything to do with the recent article in News Review about the town needing to transfer $500,000 from the reserve fund into the police budget for this year? Or is that something totally different?
45.
45
I'm sorry,
is,
yeah, 45 and 46, general.
45 is the money to increase police patrols downtown. 46 is the 2% contract, the raises that we negotiated with the PBA.
All right, correct me if I'm wrong. A couple of meetings ago, you guys voted on the police contract 4-1. John voted against it, and then there was a discussion later on, as I had asked, and it, unless I misunderstood, which I don't think so, though, you guys said that it was basically going to save the town money. Why do we then have to go into the reserve fund for $500,000, which was the point Mr. Dunleavy made, that if that's what was going to happen, he didn't think it was a good contract. But after you guys explained everything, I walked away saying it was either going to be a wash at the worst, or at the best save some money. But now, because it looks like you're doing a backdoor rather than raising the taxes 2%, which you would have, you're stealing money out of the reserve fund. Now the additional police, the part-time police, that's something you guys could vote on and do that, and I can understand that, but not the other 400,000. Something's not right.
Well, Steve, what we said was the police contract, the retirement incentive saved $250,000 a year every year, and it phased out until the cops went to top pay in 6 years. That's where the $250,000 came from. The 295, if I'm not mistaken, Bill, that 295 is the 2% raise?
Yes.
The 295 is the 2% raise. There were two separate things that happened at the end of last year. It was the approval of the police contract and the approval of the early retirement incentive.
Okay, so then that contract is costing the town taxpayers a whole lot more money. It's not saving the town taxpayers any money.
Nobody ever said it saved the town money. And I don't know why you would think that, because they got a 2% raise, which is below the cost of
Well,
living.
I thought the discussion was based on when the new people come in, based on the new people coming in at the lowest salary, and we were having older people retire, that's where it would be a wash. It wouldn't cost us any more, and that's why the deal was a good deal, and you couldn't extract any more.
Okay, I understand. What we talked about was the health insurance versus the added step. That's what the conversation, my recollection of the conversation was, because that's where the debate was would we require their health insurance, or would we require the extra step? And the health insurance saved the $250, the extra step saved more money than requiring the health insurance. And now I'm forgetting what, I think it was $106,000 or $110,000 was the savings for the extra step over a 6-year period. And the health insurance was like $45,000 or $50,000, requiring the new hires to pay into their health insurance.
and we also, the police officers that retired were taken out of the budget, and they were at top hat. So the difference between what they were getting paid versus what the new officers are making, there's a savings there also. So, but the 5 that retired weren't budgeted for in 2013. Their money was put back into the fund balance.
I'm just going to talk bottom line now.
If you look at the health insurance,
Buyout.
and they're saying over a 5 or 6 year period,
Here.
but you have to look over a 10-year or 20-year period. The health insurance will save you just as much or more. It only depends if they have a family plan or a single plan. If they take a family plan, you'll double the savings on health insurance in 20 years.
All right, but I don't want to talk 20 years out, just so that I'm clear, because I was totally misunderstood than what you folks were saying. If you have to pull out $400,000, excluding the other 100 for the part-time additional police patrol on Main Street, is that also going forward? Is the next year's police budget going to be, you're going to have to come up with that other 400,000 going forward each year, or even more?
Bill, please step up to the microphone, because I'm going to ask you some questions. You have that resolution in front of you? You may need it.
I do not.
I have it.
What's the number, Steve?
46.
The $104,000 may or may not be in the supervisor's budget next year. It's hard to say if there's a problem, if there's not a problem. The 2% raise would be for every year in the budget.
For the big number, for the 400,000.
No, that's what I'm asking, Bill. Bill, we're taking out $295,000. That's the raise to the police department.
Yes, that's the salary. They got a 2% in 12, and then on top of that, the 2% in 13.
This reflects both those numbers?
Yes, it's the cumulative effect of that.
So that's both 12 and 13.
Well, it's 13's base, because we were working with 11 numbers at the time, and we didn't know what the contract was going to wind up being. We knew how much it was per percent, but we didn't know what we were going to agree on.
Okay, so my question is, this is to cover the raise in 12 and 13?
12 was paid out of the 12 fund, but this is to cover the 13 raise. This is the cumulative effect of the 13 raise.
Okay, so 295 is the cumulative effect of the 13 raise. What's the 11,213?
That's longevity, because they get longevity on their base pay. So these are the separate lines that have to increase based on, that's just their base pay, the longevity, Social Security, MTA tax, and everything else are the effect of that 2% raise.
And Social Security tax, that's the increase because their salaries are higher?
Yes.
And the MTA tax, we still have to pay that even though it's...
Yes.
Okay. And the New York State Police retirement, that's a cost we have to pay?
That's the percentage, and that's based on the current employees that are being contributed to for the retirement system.
So these numbers are cumulative numbers and will have to be put into the budget for next year to carry it forward.
2014, the same number plus whatever the raise is in 2014, plus or minus however many police officers are there.
And 104,000 is not a cumulative, this is to run increased patrols on Main Street for a year.
Correct.
Okay. Did we reduce the number of police officers in the budget, or did we leave it at 85?
We left it the same. We put one replacement in for every police officer that retired.
Yeah, the overall budget is lower because of that.
Because they're being paid at a lower rate.
And what's that difference? Do you know off the top of your head?
In 2013, it was $250,000. Okay, I didn't calculate 14. It's 250 plus minus whatever raise the new hires get.
So that's where the savings was, the 250, and that will gradually go away as the police officers move up through their pay scale.
Correct.
And
But it should offset the retirements and we should give it a watch for a while.
Steve, did we answer all the questions?
No, because with all due respect to everybody here and the CFO, when things try to get explained, I'm totally confused. I'm a bottom line guy. It sounds like, and that's all I need to know, is that we had to come up with $400,000 more based on this new contract, regardless of what transpired, who retired.
Yes.
In 2014, we're going to have to come up with another 400,000?
Yes.
Okay.
Plus 2%.
Plus 2%. So my point being that the town is already in the hole. They're going to be at a 4% increase next year just to pay for the police, based on the old, it's a, what, no, I'm sorry. It's 1% for every 200,000 or 250,000 that you have to spend? Something like that, the taxes?
Oh, what, yeah, 300,000.
It's $100,000 per percent. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes. Is that what it is?
Are you talking about the increase in tax?
An increase is in profit.
Roughly $300,000.
Okay, so basically, you're already going to be next year at a 1.5% tax increase based on just the police increase. And if the tax cap in New York State is 2%, which the board's always tried to, how are you going to do it? And
Steve, I haven't gotten there this year. What you
you
need?
might be better getting elected to the legislators, Sean.
I haven't gotten there, and here's the only thing you need to know is somehow over the past 3 years, real spending this town only went up 1.07%. I don't know how if we can continue to do that, but that's my job. That's the supervisor's job. So I don't know how you get there. It's very expensive. The police department is more than 50% of the town general fund budget. And as you can see with things that are going on, it's money well spent because, say, if we were a Suffolk County policing district, we would not be able to divert the level of force that we may need to correct some problems in different areas.
As I said, I don't know how you guys are going to do it. Anyway,
I
thanks for the clarification. I think I finally have it cleared now. Thank you.
Thanks, Steve.
Oh, Bill, I just had one question. On one of those increases was the longevity for the police, 11,214.
Yes.
In the tentative budget for 13, I think we identified Nova State of about 18,000. Would that have been on top of this, or why did we tap into that number?
This is just to account for the two, the contract and the increases in 13 and in 12 and 13.
Right.
Has nothing to do with potential and savings that we had looked at.
And so that overstatement of longevity money went where? Why aren't we tapping into that to raise this out?
This is what we need. There are other lines in there. We never passed the resolution back on November 20th moving any of that money.
Right. We know it's there. We identified it as being there.
Of course.
So it's kind of like the Christian, we didn't erase that line out with this line.
No, we could take it from there. But the problem is, it doesn't really matter from a real perspective.
Right, I'm just saying that number was
that little bit of money, if we don't spend it, it just goes back to fund balance.
Those lines that you're referring to, and any of the benefit lines, are not lines that we just go out and spend anyway. The benefit lines are spent based on what the salaries are and the rates for those benefits. So being in that line is not really, I mean, it gives us the authority to spend that, but we can't pay anything but benefits out of those lines. So they're not going to be spent just because it's in there, as opposed to maybe another line that we have. I think we had a couple of salary lines that were in there because we had grants for them that we could take out. But those specific lines doesn't give us the authority to go out and buy another chair or something like that.
And that's the thing
and
about
overspend.
which I realize, I just wonder what didn't happen to that.
You could, I mean, you could take it out of there. If it doesn't get spent, it just goes back to fund balance. Everybody, we move all this stuff around all year
And
long.
then we get pushed back in the fund balance. He'd said that to stay there.
Marge, we are going to pull your resolution first, I promise, but go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Good evening. I have a letter here.
Like that, please, Mark.
Sure.
Thank you.
Diane? Sure. Good evening, everybody. My name is Marjorie Acevedo. I live in Wading River. I'm chairman presently, I think, until I read this letter, of the Board of Assessment Review for the town of Riverhead. It is with much regret that I will be resigning as chairwoman from the Board of Assessment Review for the town of Riverhead, effective January 15, 2013. It has been my pleasure to have served the town of Riverhead for 25 years. It has been an honor to have worked with so many other members of the board over the years: Judy O'Connell, Brian Mills, Rich Parker, Larry Galasso, Ann Walt, and many others. I have also been very fortunate to work with assessors Laverne Tannenberg, Paul Shinsky, and Mason Haas. Their guidance and professional manner is an asset to this town, and they have been very helpful to the Board of Assessment Review. Also, I want to thank the Riverhead Town Board for always being so gracious to me in your response to any request by me as the chair. Also, Diane, could you just take I just wanted to add that I believe it is in the best interest of Riverhead Town that the Board of Assessment Review remain bipartisan. The many years that I have served on this board tells me how important it is to do this. At a recent meeting at Martha Clara Vineyards, our town supervisor pointed out that having representatives from all parties is a must for good government wherever you are serving.
I did, didn't I?
Yes, you did. And this is why I did this, Sean. I have had discussions with Supervisor Walter and other town board members and the assessors about who should be appointed by this town board. The consensus was that as long as the person is qualified, they should be considered for the job. The supervisor himself has said that as long as the person is qualified, he will consider the applicant. We have to take the politics out of these appointments. Tonight, I am submitting Rob Gutschog's name as a candidate and requesting that this town board consider him as my replacement on the Board of Assessment and Review. Rob has served as an assessor for the town of Riverhead in the past and is qualified for this position. Most important, he is a New York State licensed real estate person with past certifications as an assessor. I have here copies of Rob Gutschog's resume for you to review and consider. I ask this board to please do the right thing. Again, take the politics out of appointments to the boards in the town of Riverhead and appoint someone with the knowledge, background, and skills to do this job. Appoint Rob Gutschog. And I thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Marjorie.
Thank you, Marjorie, for your 25 years, is it?
25 years, almost 25 years, guys, yeah.
Thank you. Are you retiring all together from the ledge too?
No, I'll still be at the ledge. I have exactly 100 and about 110 more Fridays.
Don't count down to your time on the ledge. Come on.
Yeah, I remember when it was 1,000. But I really do hope that you'll seriously consider this. I think you all can understand the concern about this. I mean, I've worked with wonderful people on this board, and as I said, the assessors have been equally fair and honest with me always, and I just want to keep the board that way. Thank you.
And I'd like to point out that Marge is still serving the town of Riverhead. She's on the Recreation Advisory Committee as secretary.
And the board and the Open Space Committee. And I just want to let you know that I've been reappointed over the years by almost every single reappointment except for one was by an appointment was by a Republican supervisor. So there was, in the wisdom of our forefathers, there was that this board should be bipartisan. Thank you.
Thank you, Marjorie.
Thank you. Congratulations.
All right. Anybody else wish to be heard? Not seeing anybody. Diane, can we get a motion to take part of this resolution? We're going to do that off the floor. Marge, you wanted us to do the rest of the
I make a motion that we take resolution number 82 off the floor and present it. So moved.
And second.
Moved and seconded. Vote as to taking it off the floor.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Rubin.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution number 82 is taken off the floor. Resolution 82 to be adopted.
Okay. Accepts resignation of chairwoman of the Board of Assessment and Review. So moved.
And second.
Seconded. Vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Rubin.
Yeah, make her stay.
Dunleavy.
Yes, and I want to thank you for all the years of what you gave this town in the assessment. This is some workloads that these guys have, because we have a lot of people that are grieving their assessments.
More and more every year.
And Marge has to sit.
When I started out, there were about 203 grievances. Now we're up to at least 1,800.
Yeah. So, I mean, she has to sit and listen to them and make decisions on it. So thank you very much for your dedication.
Thank you.
And Walter.
Marge, thank you very much. Your service is a testament to your bipartisanship with the town, various town supervisors, and we thank you for that. And I hope you enjoy whatever it is you do in the next, how many Saturdays and Fridays?
Well, you know, you are aware that I am only stepping down because I've taken the leadership of the Democratic party in the town.
Heard that somewhere.
And I have to do this. I really, as I said, I regret having to do it, but I'll be back.
Thank you.
Well, who knows, I might be coming to visit you, well, that was a little while, won't we?
Yeah, we'll see.
Take care. That didn't sound very confident, Marge.
Yes.
That was a yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 41.
Capital project closures, budget adjustment, so moved.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Rubin.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 42.
This is the Calverton Sewer District budget adjustment, so moved.
And seconded?
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Rubin.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 43.
CDA Calverton budget adjustment. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Rubin.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 44.
General Fund Marina and Docks budget adjustment, so moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Rubin.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 45.
General fund part-time police budget adjustment, so moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Rubin.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 46.
This is the general fund police budget adjustment, so moved.
And seconded?
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
No.
Gabrielson.
The question I had was that we could identify some of these numbers in that we had maybe found them before in the 2013 budget. That Bill says we possibly wouldn't take them, so knowing that, I would vote yes.
Rubin.
I concur with Councilman Gabrielson. I think it's important that we fund this, and if we can find other sources prior to going into picking back, so yes.
Dunleavy.
I'm gonna vote yes. I can't see voting yes for the contract and then voting no for this. This is the pay part of the contract that everybody voted for. So I have to vote yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 47.
Riverhead Downtown Revitalization Improvement Project, it's a budget adjustment. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Rubin.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 48.
Authorizes the supervisor to execute an amendment to a grant agreement with New York State Office of Parks, Recreation, and Historic Preservation for funds to support the Calverton Park Recreational Trail. So moved.
Any second?
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Rubin.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 49.
Ratifies the reappointment of a temporary student intern two, so moved.
This guy left already?
Left already.
How do we even pay him, Bill?
That was my fault,
Okay.
Sean. I'll take full responsibility for that. I didn't put it in the packet when it was supposed to be hired.
Okay, moved and seconded.
Payroll actually caught it.
Any second?
I just second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Rubin.
I don't know, we just talked about it.
He's no longer working here.
Well, no.
Just
Yes, you gotta pay him.
We gotta pay him now.
They found the money. Fair.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 50.
This reappoints a temporary clerk to the tax receiver's office, so moved.
And seconded?
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Rubin.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 51.
Appoints a call and recreation aide one to the Recreation Department. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Rubin.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 52.
Appoints a pool and recreation aide one to the Recreation Department. So moved.
And second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Rubin.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
You know, I'm gonna vote yes, but I think these people deserve a raise. Working for $7.50 an hour is a cheap labor.
That's pretty good.
So I mean, we should look at the salary.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 53.
set salaries for 2013 part-time call-in personnel for the Riverhead Recreation Department. So moved.
Second. Now you got it down.
And,
Okay, you're up to $12.13.89. Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 54.
To set salaries of various recreation employees for the year 2013. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 55.
Points of call recreation aid 1 to the recreation department. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 56.
Appoints part-time recreation aides, volleyball attendants, and officials to the recreation department. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 57.
Do we want to do anything with this? George, will take
I think we will.
Sean, I spoke to Ray.
Okay.
Yeah, I spoke to Ray, and he said that it is a New York State boat ramp, and the town of Riverhead residents do not have to pay, because if they have a green sticker, they don't pay that boat ramp fee. If they are not a resident of Riverhead, then they do have to pay that fee.
Okay.
Is that the same, did he say it was the same fee from last year?
Yes,
It's the
it's
same.
been the same one for the past 10 years, he said.
Okay.
But it should say
Yeah, it's not clear.
non-resident there. It's a non-resident fee. It should say non-resident. It will
Well, if you
clarify.
want to amend it,
It
you
will
can.
clarify.
Uh-huh.
So I will amend it to say non-resident boat ramp permit.
Just the non-residents can also buy a beach sticker. It's not green though.
No, they can't.
Yes, like $250.
It says
So they
non-resident
can buy it.
permit, $200.
So would that cover it? Is it one or the other?
Sounds like
As,
this is like.
as long as you have the sticker, you don't have to pay.
Okay, so if you
No,
don't have one, so
the
you can put
non-resident pays
non-resident, the non-resident.
$30 a day.
Right, but if non-resident buys a 200, whatever the fee is, sticker,
$200.
he's good, right? So this wouldn't be non-resident, because they would be exempt by buying the other sticker. Am I correct?
Right, well, you could put without sticker, or, you know, without
Yes.
whatever.
We just leave the language alone, it's been for 10 years maybe. I'm just thinking I'm
Might
going to
just
tweak
leave
it.
it alone for.
It does what they need now.
Okay, we leave it alone, guys.
But it's just confusing.
I was thinking.
That's all I'm saying.
Getting more confusing by the minute.
Yes.
It sounds a lot more simple the
Why
way
don't
it
we
is.
just leave it all the way it is, and if we have to
can
do
always-
something, we can ask Ray if there's, let's find out
It's
if
worked
we have to
10
sell
years.
it.
It's been good for 10 years.
You better even sell these.
No, there's a lot of cars and trailers and that stuff.
But we write a lot of tickets here too,
We do.
so we're making more money, that's right here. If you don't have a, it goes right there.
Well, you know. Okay.
All right.
Let's leave it
But
alone.
all the other ones we need to do. So,
We move
okay.
57?
All right, set fees for uses of recreation and other town facilities. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes, I vote yes. No, well, he,
No,
No,
you
let's
gotta
leave
do
it alone.
amended,
Okay.
so I'm going to vote yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution
I'll
adopted.
talk to him and see if it has to be amended at all.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
Resolution 58.
This authorizes the supervisor to execute a professional services agreement with Converge Technology Group Incorporated, CTG. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 59.
Authorize the supervisor to execute a professional services agreement with Suffolk Online Advertising. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 60.
Authorizes the supervisor to execute an agreement for, this is for services for the senior citizen department. They have to take it there. So moved.
And second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 61.
Authorize the supervisor to execute a settlement and release agreement with Troy and Banks Consultants LLC and the accounting department to pay fees in the amount of $17,500 to Troy and Banks Consulting LLC. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes, this is, we're paying them out of the $50,000 settlement we got from cable vision. So it's not coming out of our office. I vote yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 62.
Awards bid for annual audit services for the town of Riverhead. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 63.
Awards bid for audit services for town of Riverhead Justice Court. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 64.
Awards bid for audit services for Town of Riverhead and Conic Bay Community Preservation Fund. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 65.
Authorize the release of site plan security of Calvin and Links LTD. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 66.
Authorizes release of site plan security of Lincoln Street Development Corporation, Inc. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted.
Whatever Chuck Thomas knows is getting $153
I
back
know,
from
it's
the
a long
town.
time.
Resolution 67.
Authorize the release of site plan security of East End Wireless and Corp. and the Cherry Creek Golf Course. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 68.
Authorize the release of site plan security for Nicolaz LLC. So moved.
68.
Skip, I'm sorry.
Authorize the release of site plan, no, it's not me.
What's Jody?
Authorizes the release of site plan security of Fox Hill Country Club Caterers, Inc. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 69.
Authorize the release of site plan security for Nicolaz LLC. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 70.
Authorize the release of security of Traditional Links LLC Golf Training Building. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
I'm going to vote yes. We've been holding this money for some time for these people. I don't know. They must not have accounting accountants.
Well, who
to
can
check
figure
away their money?
Who can figure out the town accounting system to see whether they're entitled to
I
it?
vote yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 71.
Authorize the release of site plan security of Verizon Wireless at Cherry Creek Golf Course, Munley, Mead, Nielsen, and Lee. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 72.
Adopts the local law amending Chapter 108 entitled Zoning of the Riverhead Town Code. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 73.
Authorizes execution of Main Street Grant Program. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 74.
Authorizing the transfer of county-owned property to the town of Riverhead.
I wanted to, I mean, is the,
Move the resolution.
so you need a second.
second
Yes,
before
but-
discussion.
Yeah, we have a second before
But,
discussion.
Do we want to, well, this, wait, let me just say, we can't table that.
No, you moved it, so now you gotta vote on it. So,
I
somebody
second
get a
it.
second. Moved and seconded, vote please.
Iglio.
It's not fair that this resolution was put before me today. I've not had enough time to do the research. When I went to the assessor's office, they were concerned about it. I went to the town attorney's office, they were concerned about it. They said it was premature. They said the resolution should not be in the packet tonight. I don't see why we can't wait 2 weeks to adopt this resolution. The property can't be developed without a site plan, and we all want it preserved, but I want it to be done right, so that it is forever preserved, and that we're not putting ourselves at risk. So I am put in a position where I have to abstain because I don't have enough information or time to do the research because this resolution was put before me today. So I have to abstain.
Gabrielson.
I agree with Councilwoman Giglio on this. I think the questions asked today, listening to our town attorneys, it seems to me that 2 weeks shouldn't make a difference. I support it. I absolutely support this, but I would say I couldn't prove it now without more, conversation, we have more dialogue on it. So I would abstain too.
Wooten.
What?
Well, what can you do?
If the county can't do it, they can't do it.
My only concern was it seemed rushed to me, but obviously if the county isn't in any position to 72H it, we're certainly in no position to receive it. So I think this is more or less let the county know that the town would be interested if that happens. But I don't think this is forcing the town to do anything that it wouldn't normally want to do anyway. We all know the flaws in the subdivision and how that was all done, and I know the concerns of the people of Monmouth. I've been here for 5 years. So I understand all of that. So I don't think there's any harm or foul by supporting this. I really don't. But there's something I'm missing. So I'm gonna vote yes.
Dunleavy.
I guess I'm supportive of this. I just want to end the litigation, and I think that this is telling the county, and I really never want to say no to somebody that's going to give us something, and this is telling the county, if you give us this, we will accept it. I know we tabled things last year, and they still haven't come up. Council people want to look into things, so I mean, once this is tabled, it'll never come up again. I'm assured because of things last year that were tabled that haven't come up again. So I'm voting yes for this.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 75.
Authorize settlement of legal action against the owners, tenants, occupants, and mortgagee of the property located at 5506 Sound Avenue, Jamesport, New York. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 76.
Ratifies the reappointment of a member to the Riverhead Open Space Park Preserve Committee. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
I'm gonna vote yes, but what did we call it, the park preserve?
Never heard it either.
Vote yes.
Dunleavy.
I vote yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 77.
Ratifies the reappointment of member to the Riverhead Open Space Park Reserve Committee. So moved.
Second.
I think we just added another word to it.
That's good, that our first park.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 78.
This authorizes release of site plan security abating hollow code. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Is this $153 gonna really upset me? Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 79.
Authorize town clerk to publish and post a public notice to amend section 58 entitled Dogs of Riverhead Town Code. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 80.
This is East End Accounting Services that that the Independent Audit Committee uses to do their audits that they want them at East End Jack Orban wants to make sure that East End Accounting Services gets put back in. This is the company that the Independent Audit Company wants. So we appointed them last year.
We agreed to this last year, and it's just
Have the fees stayed the same?
Yeah, I think it's the same. Yes, it's the same,
yeah,
$20,000 or whatever.
I'm looking at
Wait a minute,
the hourly thing.
Bill's
I'm
gonna
thinking.
come up. Bill?
There is no not to exceed, it's only hourly.
So they have a limit because the budget has a limit.
Right, the same amount as budgeted as last year, $20,000. The rate for every title is still the same as it was last year. We missed this at the reorganization because we failed to realize that the last one expired December 31st. So we normally will do this at the beginning of the year, but we're putting it in that because we.
So we budgeted
It's budgeted, yeah, it's budgeted.
last year,
$20,000.
right, okay, and they got to the 20,000.
No, they didn't.
No, they actually didn't spend all the
They
$20,000.
haven't spent all
So the limit is
Right, I didn't know, I just
$20,000.
wonder how far did they go with that?
I don't know because the last bill wasn't in there, the project at the end
I
of the
just
year.
wanted them just spend it.
Yes, the audit committee is who directs this company on which projects to go forward with or which audits to go forward with.
Okay.
Okay,
You call it?
did you call the resolution? Okay. Authorizes the supervisor to execute professional services agreement with East End Accounting Services Corp. So moved.
And second.
Moved in second, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Abelson.
Yes.
Rubin.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 81.
Pay the bills, so moved.
Seconded.
Moved in second, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Abelson.
Yes.
Rubin.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted.
Basic Business Improvement District, $2.50. All right, so now we open the account up to questions and comments on things that may be within the purview of the town. Sal Mastropolo.
First question, will the ball fields be open in the spring at FCAL?
Yes, they're actually finished, except for a little bit breaking out along the trails. The sidewalks are in, the parking lot's done.
Well, I don't know if the sidewalks in down the middle.
Yeah, they're done where they're gonna be.
Yeah.
The rest, all we have left is just a little bit breaking out and
Well, that's
seeding.
pretty good. You've been down
But
there?
the fields are done.
That's
The
all
ball-
gonna be
Actually, I
good?
was down there Sunday, I walked the
Yeah, I think
property.
my daughter that weekend, it's looking great.
And that's just along the sidewalks. The fields themselves, the turf is beautiful.
Next question. Will the board comment on a rumor that I heard that the FAA was looking for a site for an additional control center, which would have about 800 jobs, and Riverhead walked away from it?
We didn't walk away from it, Sal. What's happened is the facility that's in question is the Tracon facility in Iceland. The supervisor had a rally, Tom Croce, the supervisor of Iceland Town, had a rally last spring. Almost every elected official came to that rally, supervisors, county executives. The county executive, I think both county executives may have been there, but I'm not sure. Assemblymen, senators, all across Suffolk County. And the thought is that we have to act as a region here. We didn't want to put forth to the FAA that we were fractured, that we wanted this facility. If that facility leaves Iceland, that could very well be the death knell to that airport. And that is the facility, the Tracon facility at Iceland. So it's not that nobody walked away from it. We, meaning the group that got together, we were asked by the county executive and the supervisor of Iceland to support him in his efforts to try to keep that. There are, I don't know how many, but dozens of people, it's my guess, that work in that facility in Riverhead. And if we were to lose that facility, it would not be a good thing. So instead of having a very parochial approach, there was one supervisor that took a parochial approach, but instead of having a parochial approach to be trying to argue or not argue, but compete with Islip MacArthur Airport, because the board was never asked to do a resolution. It's just my opinion that we should be working with the other towns, because what comes around is going to go around, and at some point the supervisor of Islip is going to come out here and say, hey, this is something that belongs here, whatever that something is. So that's where.
Now, we wanted to move this off of Long Island to upstate.
I was going to say, upstate.
And you have to rally around someplace to keep this. EPCAL, we're not subdividing EPCAL yet. So how can we move something out here when we don't know when EPCAL is going to be subdivided? It could take 6 months, it could take another 2 or 3 years.
Well, when,
So, you know, these guys want to move, and we don't want to take them off Long Island. It's Long Island jobs, and we want to keep it on Long Island.
I have seen the ads in the Newsday every week for the last 4 weeks, and that they are aggressively seeking proposals for property owners that own between 35 and 50 acres. I have spoken to Schumer's office. I have made phone calls to Bishop's office. Kyle from Schumer's office said that the FAA is advertising because they are looking for a place, which means that they don't want to be in Islip. So we are working aggressively towards trying to replace the jobs that we took, that we lost when Grumman left. And I think that we should be aggressively moving forward and submitting a proposal to the FAA to get those 800 jobs here in Riverhead. And it's not a matter of the jobs going to Poughkeepsie or Westchester, from what I'm hearing from Schumer's office. Originally that was the thought. They wanted to keep them just in Suffolk County. And that effort to keep them in Suffolk County will continue, whether it's at Islip or whether it's at EPCAL. But they are advertising on a weekly basis. They are seeking proposals for any property owner that owns between 35 and 50 acres. There is a criteria. I did speak to Andrea Lones from Suffolk County Economic Development, and she said that she has all the information that we could submit to the FAA in a package. It just needs to be updated. And I think that we should be aggressively pursuing the FAA Air Traffic Control Facility to be at EPCAL.
So what you're saying is you want to take that from Islip.
They don't want to be in Islip. They're advertising in the paper.
That is not accurate. The facility, I stood with Senator Schumer's staff at that press conference. Congressman Bishop was there. The senator, the congressman, the supervisors, the county executive, everybody wants to have a regional one-voice approach to keep it at Islip MacArthur. If you were to try to do that, you're going to be the odd man. We would be the odd man out as a town. We're a region, Sal. This is not just whatever benefits Riverhead.
no, I understand that, but the point is, if they've made a statement that they are definitely moving from Islip.
It's not. They are not definitely moving from Islip. They are looking for the best possible deal they could get. That's what they're looking for.
Well, that would
Best
be
possible
my only
deal.
concern is why they are looking elsewhere. I don't know I really don't understand why they were looking, unless they're fishing. I don't know what the rub is between FAA and Islip.
Is it possible they don't have the space at Islip to expand the way
Or
they
there's
want
too
to
much
expand?
traffic going on where they can't get the proper numbers, or when speaking to Kyle from Schumer's office, he said that the plan is not that far in the works, and Riverhead should most definitely submit a proposal. That's what he told me.
No, that's contrary to what they said.
But even if we consider it as an alternate, if it goes upstate, shame on us.
Well, that's
But
my
as an
point.
alternate,
I mean,
maybe
if they're
they would
definitely
look to
going
us
to
instead of
move,
looking up to Stewart.
I'd hate to see them move and
Right.
it goes someplace
So I
off
think
the
if
island.
it's clear it's an alternate, that may work too, it's a compromise.
Okay, thank you.
You gotta remember, out in the whole state.
Yeah, we'll go upstate.
His staff members were there.
The state.
His staff members were there at that rally. All right. Anybody else wish to be heard tonight? Make a motion.
I do.
You do?
Yep.
How about you?
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.